Where the hell does everybody stand? So collective, this is a message for all signs. We have the Two of Swords on the board. There's a lot of conversations that are going to be happening this week where people kind of like say where they stand on a given subject, where there's been a lot of confusion, where there's been a lot of like people going in different ways. You know, like what I picked up when I felt the energy behind the card was Chutes and Ladders. So if you've ever played Chutes and Ladders, there's ladders like everywhere, and it's very confusing. There's different paths that kind of go all over the place. So the energy here is there's a lot of different conversations and narratives and different opinions and directions that people are going in. And the next couple, or this week, is going to be a week for people to clarify their position and the direction that they are going in. Now, I did see one other thing that was like, I saw a plaque. So again, it's kind of like just a statement, right? A plaque is like a declaration. It's like, it is, and it's very permanent. A very permanent plaque written in stone. It's like, I am here. That's what I saw. And then the last thing was the slinking cat, which I saw for the reading for Cancer signs. So maybe there's a connection between Cancer signs, or you're a Cancer. Even though this is a general message for everybody, maybe you have a connection to Cancer. But I saw a slinking cat. So I think a lot of these conversations have to do with deception too. You know, people maybe who have not been clear in their own directions, or there's been a lot of purposeful confusion in the direction that they were taking. We're now clarifying that confusion because people are actually stating with clarity and conciseness and definitiveness where they stand because of the stone freaking plaque. Let's pull more cards. Okay, Five of Cups and the Ace of Cups. Interesting. So, I think the slinking cat, okay, there is a sense that the stuff we're talking about, you know, isn't necessarily pleasant. That's the reason why there has been a lot of different opinions on it, is because there's a negative component. Maybe people don't like to talk about it, or if it's not a fun topic of conversation, then people don't talk about it. Well, we're talking about it this week, because we're clearing the air this week. The Ace of Cups here is, we want to clear the air. The Ace of Cups is, we feel like we want to kind of like, we want things to be clear. We want our, with regards to our emotions specifically, because that's the cup. Okay. On the bottom, we have the Emperor. So, the Emperor and the Knight of Pentacles, all right. So again, the news, the subject of conversation, the confusion surrounds the Emperor. And it surrounds their Nine of Pentacles-ness, which is the fact that they are self-sufficient, independent, something about them being independent, something about them being on their own, is part of the confusing news. Take that as it, you know, as it resonates for you. Okay, I'm gonna need more cards. This is like this is a little, let's go in a few different directions. Let's see where the cards go with the Oracle takes this reading here. Tell me more about what's going on with the Chutes and Ladders, the plaque, and the slinking cat, because I just feel like the confusion is either purposeful, or it's because the slinking cat, the Emperor, someone was avoiding being clear, you know? That's why there's so many Chutes and Ladders, that's why there's so many positions. But tell me more about what's going on here with the collective, with the Chutes and Ladders situation, and with the plaque. Where do people stand here? The Two of Swords. All right. The road forward. The road forward. Where, like I said, the direction you're going. Where are you going? Where do you stand? Saturn, the brain, and the Tower. So the road forward is, the road is where are you and where are you going? The Wizard's Tower is where are you, what's your plan? Where are you headed? So again, it's all about the future, where you're at and where you're going, what your plans are, and getting clear on that stuff so that people are on the same page, the brain, because people want to know. People want to know, and this is the information that's circulating because people want to know. Now Saturn. If Saturn, there's a sense of responsibility with Saturn. It's kind of like saying I have to fess up. Things have to be clear, and we have to fess up. We have to hash this out, and we have to clear the air. And that's Saturn. And Saturn, there's a sense of heaviness and responsibility. Heaviness and responsibility with the coal, the number 7, and the city. it's a heavy topic. It's a heavy subject matter. Because I think there's, like I said, there's been deception somewhere along the road by the slinking cat that I saw. Let's pull advice and see what kind of advice the cards have for the collective, what you can do to navigate, the chutes and ladders of these confusing times. Maybe this is talking about, like AI, how AI, we have so like deep fakes and stuff, deep fake AIs and stuff are just getting big right now, and that's going to be a bunch of chutes and ladders, right? That's going to be a confusing situation, and people, and maybe just the plaque is just stating, oh, this is a fake, being the person who states the fact. Let's see what we get. Page of Cups and the Chariot. That's the advice. That's the advice here, which is to be very clear and very forward, and don't be ambiguous. Like, tell people where you're going. Show them where you're going. And it's like, help the clearing of the air, help it along, push it along. Because I think everybody can help the clearing of the air a little bit. It's almost like one person says something, and another person adds to it, another person adds to it, another person adds to it, and suddenly everything's been said. So it's like, contribute to that so that we can finally clear the air of this nasty topic where there's so much confusion. Yeah, and there we go. We can finally clear the deception. And the deception, it can't just be like omission. People who left things, it's deception by omission. People didn't say that kind of felt deceptive. But this is clearing the air of all of that. Clearing the air of all of that, because the Seven of Swords is reversed now. We've got the Page of Swords upright, which is speaking up with a very clear narrative of what you're going to say. And then the Four of Cups is putting all this shit behind you because we've cleared the air. Okay. What a great week. What a great week to clear the air, to get God, I hate having, I don't keep secrets. I don't like secrets to be floating around. So this is a good week to have that shit, just be done with. All right, last bit of advice here, and then we're gonna close this out. Any last advice for my collective? Everybody, all signs. Any last advice? The staff. The staff. So the staff is the top card, but then the bottom card is Scorpio, and that is very much like, pull the Band-Aid as fast as you can to get through it as fast as you can, because it hurts. It might hurt to have to deal with this topic of conversation, to have to sift through all the confusion. Again, that is what we're talking about. It might hurt, but it's better than having the situation endure. Like, push it along, add what you need to add to the conversation, help it along. Even if people don't like what you need to say, it clears the air. So let's do that. All right, that's the advice, collective. I hope you guys enjoyed that. Don't forget to like and subscribe to the channel. Follow the channel if you are on TikTok. And that'll see you guys next